In this tutorial we are going to go through how to learn the gainer flash, gainer switch and the cork. What's common to all these three is that they start out from the eagle position. You can basically do them after any trick that lands in the eagle position. For example, scoot, TD race, Gambi, cartwheel full, butterfly twist, etc. But in this tutorial we are not going to use any of those setups. We are just going to use the J-step. And let's start the tutorial with the gainer flash. So there are two ways you can approach the gainer flash. The first method, which I highly recommend, is the swing 540 method. And what's good about this method is that it's very safe. It teaches you how to open up the legs. It teaches you how to be on every single axis during the gainer. The second method is only for those who already can do a backflip. The problem with this method is that you basically just learn to be on one axis. So the axis will be the completely inverted axis. But in tricking, we want to be able to spin at every single axis. So I would highly recommend the first method. But without further ado, let's get started with the swing 540 method. So this is how you do the swing 540. And the idea during the swing 540 is that you do the J-step from here to here, and then you just kick through your leg and land on it. I want you to practice this a lot at first. During a swing 540, you will keep your non-kicking leg tucked in the air. So, tucked. This will make the twist more efficient. And this one is important. When you do it, your leg and your arms are working at the same time, like this. So you do the J-step, then you are in the eagle position, and then simultaneously swing your arms and your right leg up. The biggest problem people have with the gainer flash that they are not comfortable with their setup. And practicing the swing 540 from J-step, that really is the key to making it comfortable to you. And when you can land this every single time and you swing your leg and your arms simultaneously and it feels comfortable, then only you are going to start to add a little bit inversion. So you go from this to this, and then this to this, and etc. And your process should look something like this. Not in one session maybe, but throughout several sessions it will get better. And to start inverting more, you will just drop your chest after the takeoff. And remember, do it little by little. It's so important. And when you are at this point, you should already see the ground in front of you when you are landing. So there we have the gainer flash, and important about the gainer flash is that you are driving it with your right leg or the kicking leg. So you are kicking the right leg up and then using it as a driving force for the kick/flip. And when you do the non-inverted gainers, focus just on your right arm. Other things that I have seen people implement are that they are grabbing their leg Like grabbing from here. It can be used, but it's not necessary. And it can be hard to get rid of. Then we have the other way of learning the gainer flash, and it's through the tucked gainer. The power generation in this one is way more through one leg jumping power than through hips. But if you choose to use this way, you can just do that and then little by little land more on the right leg. But like I said, this way doesn't really teach you how to be on different axes. And if you just have this one, it's maybe harder to learn the cork. The gainer switch, it works better maybe this way, but the cork can be harder. But hey, that was gainer flash, and the next one is gonna be the gainer switch. So in gainer flash, the right arm and the right leg, maybe both arms, but right arm more, were the driving force behind the flip. But during the gainer switch, this changes. So during a gainer switch, you really need to focus on your left arm and not kicking too high and kicking straight. So like this. When in gainer flash, it was like this. So in gainer flash, you gotta make sure that you are doing the J step so that you are pretty upright, like this. And then swinging straight. Straight line, like this. When I do the gainer switch, I try to completely forget about my right arm. I'm just focusing on my left. So it is extremely important that you get your weight shifted, like very balanced on the leg, not like this. Because if you are too much on your side, the gainer switch will go like this. And you definitely can't swing a gainer switch like this. Or you can, but it will be very uncomfortable and very bad for you. So I kind of think about my gainer switches like dark side flash kicks. Like this. I'm just using even less my right arm. Like completely forget about it. It's not any help. And if you have a setup like Gambi, I got a Gambi tutorial here. So use that for gainer switch, because what the Gambi does, it allows you to get to this position very easily and then do it inverted, like almost automatically. So during a gainer switch, the most important thing is to swing simultaneously straight, in a straight line, like this. It's the most important. Also think about the other leg flash. And with all these tricks, optimally you stay in just one place or travel a little bit backwards. Either way is fine. Now we are going to move to the cork. And for the cork, I want you to make sure that you got the cartwheel full down. Like, I think it's pretty much essential to having a good cork. Check out my cartwheel full tutorial from here. Having the cartwheel full makes learning the cork 100 times easier, like so essential for the cork. It's way more simple to learn twisting a flip with 270 degrees that takes off from 2 feet than a flip with 360 degrees from one leg. When you got the cartwheel full down and you are starting to learn the cork, it will be not easy, but a lot easier than without the cartwheel full. If you got access to a mat like this, then very good. If you don't, it doesn't matter. I'm first gonna teach the way that you can do it on a mat like this. Yeah, mat is sliding a little bit, so let's just completely forget about it. Everyone doesn't have a mat like this or a foam pit. We are not gonna use that at all. And for the cork, there are 3 methods, which of 2 I'm gonna teach to you. Again, we are going to start with the method that has most inversion ranges. So you are going to get used to all the inversion ranges when twisting. So the teaching method here is going to be pretty similar to how I taught my cartwheel full in my last tutorial. So now I hope you got the swing 540 and the gainer flash. You are going to need both. The first step is going to utilize the swing 540 like this. Did you see what I did there? Let me demonstrate again. So basically what I'm doing here is that I'm doing the swing 540 and then over rotating it on the ground. And the next step is going to be trying to land on the left leg first. That's almost a cork. So that is basically an upright cork. And again, when you get more comfortable with this, you start adding inversion little by little, little by little, little by little. And this is the process how it's gonna look, maybe, over time. So what happens at this stage is that I do the swing. I'm doing quite a lot of blocking here, not like gainer switch, like blocking, real blocking. Then I'm swinging my right arm like this, in, like during the swing 540. And then when I do it, I'm tucking in the air. And what the tucking does, it gives the flip illusion. Like I'm barely flipping during this, but it just gives the illusion to it. And from here, how do we go to the real cork? Again, little by little, more inversion, and that is achieved through this. Instead of swinging to this direction, I'm trying to swing more and more up. And congratulations, you have learned a cork. Now that you have learned a cork, how do you master it? Well, no secrets, just hard work. You are doing the things that I have been talking about more and more. So, you are swinging your arm higher up, all the time higher up. You are straightening your leg little by little. And that's basically it. The inverted gainer flash teaches you how you are kicking the leg up during the cork. Without that, the cork will be very hard to invert and to stay icy during it. Always remember that mastering a skill takes a huge work and a huge amount of time and reps. Most people are not mastering these skills because various reasons. They might get injured, but also because they just don't have the time and they are not able to put enough effort in. They don't have the motivation, etc. Like these things. You just gotta put a lot of work in, like way more than you would ever imagine. And for other people it's more work, and for other people it's less work. Like you gotta understand that people are very different. But I'll try to give my best tips on how to make the cork icy. And by icy I mean this. The key to this kind of cork is to think about a couple of things. First one, swing straight leg. When you swing, you are trying to keep the knee straight. Another thing that you need to think about is leaning back and swinging your right arm. Just look at this. I'm trying to keep my upper body very tight, like my quad muscle is very tight when I swing, but then I let it loose in the air so that I can land in eagle. Back in the day when I was drilling my single corks, I was thinking about pushing my left leg to ground. Nowadays I don't have to think about it anymore because it just happens automatically. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that I'm not really talking about spotting that much in this video. Only during the gainer flash part I talked about spotting the ground in front of you when landing. But basically I don't do much spotting myself. Like, I see something in the air, but I don't really see. Like, I'm not spotting, for example, during a cork, a specific spot there or anywhere. I just feel it in my body when I'm ready to open and swing through to another cork. I feel like spotting for me is kind of like one more distraction. I can't feel my body as much. I'm very bad at multitasking, by the way. Always doing one thing at a time or learning one thing at a time. So spotting is a no pretty much to me. I see something, but not something specific. Anyways, I still feel like I gotta talk about the other way to learn the cork, which is more flip based. So gainer flash is our base trick. And the gainer Arabian is the second step. And then you already know what we are going to do. We're going to just do the gainer Arabian and twist a little bit more and a little bit more, and eventually we have the cork. The problem with this method is that it doesn't teach you how you are twisting kind of consecutively. Yeah, consecutively, yes. I'm getting tired, my English is getting worse and worse. Anyways, this is the progression. I'm getting too tired. Anyways, you got the point. The first method is better. Do that method. But hey, this was the tutorial for these 3 tricks, and I hope you got something out of it. Like, if you watched it from the beginning until end, thank you so much. If you watched just the cork part, just the gainer flash part, just the gainer switch part, then fine. Thank you so much for that too. And yeah, tell me in the comments if this helped you at all, and if you have any further questions, just leave them there. I'll answer everything, I promise. At least if this video doesn't get like 100,000 views, then nope, I don't watch every comment then, but at least now I will. So thank you again.